We engage in authentic conversations about our weekly entrepreneurial goals while exploring business, failures, success, and personal growth.
We're going to continue to work and get better at this, so thanks for tuning in.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Our vision will highlight a diversity of guests who are creatives, industry leaders, and individuals creating positive change within our communities. Join the Our Vision podcast on our shared journey to becoming better humans. It's not only our vision, but it's your vision too. Let's get into it. Hi, Uncle Joe. How are you today,
water
sir?
all over the couch. I'm doing well.
It is another day.
Another day.
Today's not tomorrow. And today's not yesterday.
And today is episode 4.
Yes.
Episode 4.
Hopefully this episode doesn't suck as much as the last ones did.
Well, I guess they sucked. I don't know.
Do you think they sucked?
No, I think we're getting better at it.
I think they suck.
I think if we do 30,000 hours of whatever we're going to call this, I think we'll be really good at it.
Maybe.
I think so. We only have 4, 5, 6 hours of this so far. Practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 test episodes. So 6 hours, maybe 7.
So I'm thinking 4, 5, 5.5, 6, 7. I'm going to say about 8 hours.
8 hours. One work day.
One work day.
One full fucking work day. So
that's
so think if you went to your job and you showed up and it was your first day, right? And you worked 8 hours. Do you think you would know everything about your job?
I would.
I fucking wouldn't. You're full of shit. There's no way you would know everything. So it's going to take some time.
Depends on the job. Maybe I'm already experienced at it.
What job would you know everything about? This should be good.
How to clean toilets.
I bet you could learn some shit still about that.
You think so?
Yeah, I bet. Might be
like
a better
what?
cleaner or a better brush.
Maybe.
All right. Could be a better plunger out there.
But they all work the same, right?
Nah, I don't think so. All plungers are not equal. So 8 hours. That's not a whole lot of time to do something. Holy loud. That was loud. I didn't realize how swallowing water. God. See how loud this is.
We still have no name for this.
We don't, but we have 500.
But we have 500
on the list.
We have 500 in the books right now. Just got to pick one from those 500.
Yeah, that's it. It'll all come together.
Maybe. It's not easy.
It's not easy being sleazy.
Nope. Hey, didn't you meet Jim Brown once?
I did. I didn't know it. I came home. I was like, yeah, he gave me a football card. I had no clue who he was.
Jim Brown.
So I was in Cleveland somewhere. I don't remember where, but it was a coffee house in Cleveland. And he was sitting next to me and we started talking and he had dropped his name. And in hindsight, I'm like, oh, okay. He was probably surprised I didn't know his name. So we sat and talked for 30, 40 minutes. And he brought his name up again and I still had no clue who he was because I'm not into sports. And then he gave me a little baseball card and I came back to the apartment or just talking to you and I'm like, hey, I met Jim Brown. You're like, you met Jim Brown? I'm like, yeah, who is he? And you were like, only the greatest. What'd you call him? I don't even know what he did. Was he a running back?
He's a Hall of Famer, NFL Hall of Famer.
What position did he play? I don't even know.
Running back.
Running back, yeah.
He's arguably one of the greatest of all time, Joe.
Seemed like a really nice guy, but I had no clue that he even played. So
God,
it's pretty cool though.
Sad.
Yeah, it was good.
That's okay.
Yeah. So, have you ever met anybody famous?
Yeah. Unfortunately, yes.
It was a bad day, huh?
Yeah. There's a non-disclosure agreement.
Oh, there is.
Some of the meetings.
Yes. There is one. You can't talk about him. Describe his attitude, though.
Whose attitude?
The one you can't talk about.
I can't talk about any of them.
Yeah, but you can talk about their attitude.
Why are we talking about this?
God, you brought up Jim Brown.
Jesus. No, I met Cuba Gooding Jr. once. Cuba. I like calling him Cuba.
Where'd you meet him at?
Kentucky. Louisville.
Really?
Yes.
What the hell was he doing in Louisville?
I don't know. Probably shooting something.
Why were you in Kentucky?
We're doing the Bourbon Trail.
Oh, that's right. It seems like that was good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drink, so wouldn't be as exciting for me.
No. You'd still have fun, though. I know you would.
Yeah. Probably be neat to see the facilities and everything. Were the people nice were the owners there? Or I don't know if they're like, I don't know much about distilleries.
What? Say that again?
Were the owners there? Or are they like smaller? They're bigger? They're big companies? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if the owners are actually there. I didn't meet any owners.
Okay.
Yeah, they're big distilleries.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good time, though. You said you guys had a good time.
Yeah.
You went to several of them, too, didn't you?
Yeah. Let's see. Evan Williams, Four Roses, Woodford Reserve, Buffalo Trace, and I think there was another one, but I can't remember which one it was.
We don't have... does Ohio have a brand? Like anybody?
I mean, there's probably...
I don't know. I was just wondering because I don't drink bourbon, but I mean,
there's whiskey.
Okay. I knew
distilleries in Ohio. I'm sure there's some places that make bourbon.
Somewhere I read...
I don't know.
Ohio used to have like 200 wineries or facilities that made wine. I don't know. But that seems... We've got several of them in our area here.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Paper Moon, Quarry Hill.
Mona Meat. Did they make it or are they just... Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, Mona Meat makes wine. Mattis Winery out in Wakeman.
Yeah, the one in Firelands Winery. I think there was a Hermes Winery, but I don't know if it's still
Hermes? Around. Oh, well, it's on 4, right?
Yeah,
somebody else purchased that and they replanted, so they're like gearing up to do that all again. Have you been out there in a while?
You mean actually to the location?
Mm-hmm.
Like there and went in? No.
Yeah, they've added on and they've fixed it up differently.
Yeah,
it's really nice. That was when we were looking at that office years ago. There was that Prohibition tunnel that the guy was talking about, that they would take the alcohol out to the lake. I don't know if you remember him talking about that, one of the buildings.
Oh, yeah.
Connected across the street or whatever. That's kind of interesting.
Downtown.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. These two.
Mona Me has a place down in the basement. That's where a friend of ours got married too. That was kind of cool. It's got like a cellar.
Oh, where Travis got married. Yeah.
That makes me think of a place up in Ann Arbor, dude. Friend of mine who lives there, there was one barn that was ripped down, let's say 100 years ago. And part of that building material was used for the 3 houses on that street. Well, the house right next to hers was an old speakeasy. So he turned that into a venue to where he had music playing there every week. It was really cool. So you'd come into his house and like go to the right. You wouldn't be walking through his living room or kitchen, but you could see his kitchen and you would go down the stairs, and downstairs would be this big cellar that used to be Prohibition days was making alcohol. And there was like a little stage. There was an upper place to sit and a lower place to sit to watch different all kinds of music, I guess. He had come in, but like folk music and things like that. It was really cool. But that was in Ann Arbor. Yeah. I love stuff like that, brother. It's like a nice little find.
We'll have to talk to our friend Justin about his old wrestling extravaganza.
Oh, because you guys are up in that way.
Prohibition.
Oh,
era
Mm-hmm.
wrestling.
Yep.
But we'll have to schedule that sometime.
Yeah. That's one of the things. I'm a photographer, and that's one of the things, like we were just talking about the speakeasy and different areas, wineries and event. And it always amazes me that you come across these venues that are just awesome. You know, and sometimes they're not real well known publicly. You know, you just come across them because of the business you're in. And I always think that's pretty cool. The other place I'd like to go in Michigan would be like the Upper Peninsula. I think that'd be pretty fucking cool. Mm-hmm. I've never been up in that area too much, or up east at all. You've been up east. You've talked to me a couple times about it. Up East Coast sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I've never been up there. I've only been to Silver Lake.
That was really cool, those dunes.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So this week, Brad, we went to look at some properties. What'd you think?
They needed too much work.
Yeah, both those homes needed a lot of work. We were looking for another property, and so Brad and I went up, looked at a showing, and I couldn't believe how many people were there also.
Yeah, there were a lot of people.
Because we've looked at other places, and there was never that many people looking at once.
It doesn't look like anything was updated in those properties. So
water damage in the roof, and just very outdated.
Kind of dingy, old, nasty carpet. No, doesn't look like it's ever been painted.
No, there was rooms that were just... Yeah. If it had been painted, it had been years since it had been painted, like the yellowing.
You see the outside before you walk in, and then you walk in, it's like you're walking into a different world. It's like the outsides of them look decent. Then you walk in, they look like not a place I'd want to live.
That was a little depressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of knew when we went through the first one. I was like, yeah, this might be a little more than we are capable of doing right now.
They're huge, and just would have been too much work for where we're at right now.
To me personally, I would think you'd have to gut the whole fucking thing. Looks.
Yeah, well, I don't think you would have to gut it.
I'm pretty close.
Some of the ceilings you would have to, but the walls were in decent shape.
Some of the walls.
The brick one was in the better shape, except for the ceiling.
Yeah, there was like
the roof
paneling in quite a few rooms too. Like that's what I mean by gutting. You'd have to like. I'm not going to run a place out that has paneling all over it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was, which is fine. I mean, it wasn't disappointing or anything like that.
Fuck, man. Okay. I am struggling with this fucking podcast.
Why?
I need to get better at this shit. Because when I'm talking, because I suck at this shit.
Well.
And,
tell me, dude. Lay it out here, man.
Well, we've already talked about the sitting here, and we got to look at each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know. I go blank on certain topics.
I get it.
So let's continue. I just had to let that out.
Fucking let it out, dude.
But I'm going to keep fucking doing it.
Don't let that stuff stay in. It'll fuck you up, dude.
Yeah, can't you tell it's fucking me up a little bit?
Yeah. It's good, though. Fucking own that shit. Yeah, so I wasn't disappointed. I didn't really have...
No, I never go in with like high hopes.
And I didn't even think after it wasn't even running the numbers on it or anything. It was just like, let's go check it out, see. But
the thing with those that they were like top of our list.
They were top of our list
because those since you've met the gentleman.
And we still weren't disappointed, though. That's the way to look at this, I think, though, too.
Disappointed? Mm-hmm. It wasn't disappointment. It was more like I said, I didn't go in with hopes too high. Mm-mm. And once I walked in, I was like, this is going to require, like, as soon as I walked in,
I can see an investor.
Like, this is going to be way too much work for us. Unless we can get an investment loan.
I can see
a renovation loan.
Right. Which I can't remember what the numbers are on that, but I can see somebody with doing it like that, where they have to get contractors to do the work and fix it up, and then you get the money and da-da-da-da-da. But I also could see somebody that had the capital to work with that and to extract the fix it all up and then move on. You know what I mean? Or they were construction. We're not construction. We're not a construction company. We don't build houses or anything like that, or remodel or anything like that. But I could see somebody that had a lot of those skills might be willing to take on the project that big. We
met some high rollers there, so
yeah, they're
and And 2 days after we looked at it, it was already pending sale.
Yeah, I kind of figured that even before.
Whether it goes through or not, who knows? But
I kind of figured there would be quite a few. Either, yeah, there was some money there. Definitely, they had more capital to work with, without a question. But so, not disappointed. We'll continue to look for the property for this year, I think.
Yeah.
So we're looking more for a property like we're in now, where the work we can do ourselves. I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but not that. That's way too much work. It's too big of a property for us to.
I think if we're in the city, we can do either this style property or single family with doing Airbnb. So we could go either way.
Right.
So as long as we can find properties that are zoned properly.
Right. And so the city has it laid out, so we know where to look for those. But then talking to the realtor, we asked her to put those parameters in this week. So, and plus I'm going to start driving that a little more to get familiar with the area.
Driving
the zoned area.
You mean driving physically?
Yeah.
Looking at
even though we live here, because sometimes I don't know, you can tell that a place is either going downhill or it might come up, or that way you're more familiar.
That's
when
another
it
thing.
does happen.
Looking for properties that look like they're unoccupied,
right?
Not properties that aren't listed,
right?
That look like they're unoccupied or look a little rundown, maybe not to the point to where you couldn't, fix it up, but
right. So I want to drive that zoned area, check them out, and see. Start doing that aggressively.
Yeah.
Ooh. So,
but anyway, yeah.
So
there's that.
Did you? And we talked about this showing was a clusterfuck when we went to go look at these houses. They were. Yeah. It's like an open house, but there was like multiple.
Our realtor told us to bring masks because it was required.
Right.
And
nobody was
wearing masks. I mean, there were a few people, but most people weren't. Yeah. And it was kind of like there were people living in the spaces, and I wore mine just out of respect.
I wore mine too.
Like I don't know how those people feel about that. So
and
there were some elderly people in there. And
there was
that was
a little concerning. So it was kind of a clusterfuck. It was not very professional as far as how it was. Just felt. To me, it didn't.
It kind of when we got there, it was like individuals or groups, people that were together that would go in one at a time, and then at the end it was just like it was a free for all.
Yeah, because we were trying to schedule our
house party
viewing for an hour on each property, and that didn't happen. So, anyways, I wanted to get back to that because that was not the way I want to look at a property.
Yeah, I know.
Not the way I want to do it.
So the white one, when we walked in, so there was the white one. I think they were both 4 units, right?
I'm not sure.
I think they were both 4 unit properties.
So.
I think the white property had smaller units. The brick property had some larger units. That had some bigger units in it.
Yeah, and it had like a weird upstairs unit. Which
the white one needed a shitload of work.
Yeah.
The walls were, they're plaster walls.
Plaster and... the hell's the other paneling and
like the wood paneling,
and just like
and just nasty dingy carpet,
very dirty. The whole place was very dirty in my opinion,
and even the walls there was a lot of like deterioration, I would say. Whereas in the brick one, the walls were in better shape. There were some spots that were and the paint was peeling off, like it looked like old lead paint, and then the ceilings were the worst.
So one of the things I liked about that is it had all its original wood doors and everything wasn't painted.
Wood doors and
so I kind of like that, and even the baseboard had the wide baseboard that wasn't painted and everything, which makes me wonder if underneath some of that carpet isn't wood floors, which would have been cool to fix up.
I guarantee
there are. So
you could see the potential in that one.
Oh yeah,
but it was just it required the ceilings were tall, huge walls.
10 foot. I think they're over 10 foot in some rooms.
A lot of paint. Yep. The ceilings, especially upstairs near the roof, because the roof has to be leaking. Either the roof is leaking or they have pipes leaking.
Well, yeah, and I don't know why there would be
in bad shape.
I don't know why there'd be
moss
pipes
growing on it.
Yeah, it was deteriorating pretty bad. Which we knew going into looking at it that was a possibility. The roof wasn't good, but
it had some like nice architectural pieces inside, like the window framing and
there's a couple really cool like arched windows,
the entryways, and
pocket doors were still in the place. So I mean, like I can definitely see the potential in that home.
But then going back to the people that live there, just based on who was living there, it would be really hard for me to like kick people out of that. The people that are there, there's like elderly people. There's a guy that was obviously had
something going on with
mental,
him.
Issues,
and you would have to move everybody out of that place to fix it up.
Yeah,
there'd be no way you could keep it and work on it. It needed that much work. There's no way to like not disturb people living there while you're doing that.
Yeah, the only way you could do it is working on the rooms that were unoccupied. There were some rooms I think that were unoccupied. There wasn't a lot of people living in it. There's probably like we saw 4 maybe or 5.
Yeah, but I don't know for certain.
Maybe 2 in the first,
and the one was there was one unoccupied completely. You can tell because there was no furniture in there or anything.
Yeah.
So
I think there were yeah.
So yeah, that wouldn't have been good.
So no go on those,
right?
But in a prime location.
Yeah, and I think that's why we were interested in it. Is it already goes commercial or business commercial or residential commercial or one of residential business or whatever, however they do it. Yep. So that was appealing, and I'm sure that's what's appealing to the other investors. I'm sure they're seeing that. So,
so what I'm really excited about is having guests. We're gonna have our first guest. I'm not going to say who it is.
Right.
After he should be in episode 5.
We're hoping,
unless it changes. So. I think he's good though. He should be good. So we'll have our first guest, and we're gonna book some more too.
Yeah, we sat.
So it won't just be me and my roommate talking to each other.
We sat around today, kicking around names for the show. That was endless. We haven't come up with anything yet. We already talked about that. But yeah, so we're gonna have our first guest, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm actually kind of excited about that. Oh, yeah.
So, should be more of that. It's snowing out. It is, look.
I believe you. I can't see shit.
I can see
the street lights. Yeah, I can't see anything out there. It's very dark in front of our place.
So, you want to talk about Harry Potter?
Yeah, we're watching Harry Potter.
What are we going to get into? What do you want to talk about today? Anything interesting? There is
interesting today.
Come on,
for this week.
Come on, Uncle Joe.
Oh, you did send me a text last night.
Oh, so you do want to talk about that? I do want.
At least the video was crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
What was it called?
I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it was the Hunga Tonga eruption.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen this or heard of this, it was
Hunga Tonga.
It was in the Pacific, right?
Yes.
And it was a volcano explosion underwater,
and it created some tsunamis.
Yeah, and
a
tsunami. And man, oh man, the satellite footage of that is insane. I've never seen anything like it. It kind of reminds me of when the Mount Rushmore blew up, but underwater. So imagine like a bomb going off underwater, basically, is what it looks like.
I think it shot ash 12 miles into the atmosphere.
That does not surprise me.
That is way up there.
Yeah. So I felt, but immediately after you see that video, you're like, your brain starts to go, and you're like, oh no, like that is not good for people.
I don't know anything.
I can't imagine being like in an island near there
since the tsunami hit nearby.
Yeah, that was.
I haven't looked into it since then. So,
but that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that in my lifetime.
What about the Mount St. Helens?
Yeah, but I've never seen anything underwater like that.
Yeah. See, I don't know if it was. I don't think the volcano was completely underwater, because when you looked at it, there was landmass coming up.
I seen landmass, but
so they must. I think it's because it was in, I don't know if it was like an island or.
I don't know, but the footage is impressive.
Yeah, it was.
And scary.
Massive.
Very massive. Yeah.
It didn't even look real.
No, it
looked like CGI. It was so enormous.
When things are that big, they don't seem real. I do remember when Mount St. Helens blew up, though, because I remember it was on the news all the time, like before it happened. Scientists were watching it and waiting, and they thought there was activity, but it was pretty. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and then pretty soon the super volcano in Yellowstone's going to blow up, and we're all going to die.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's going to be pretty soon.
To take that to the way
anytime. We're due, so.
Yeah, well, things happen. It could happen.
It could be over tomorrow.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, because that was intense. And
what the super volcano is going to erupt tomorrow?
Maybe could happen. I don't know.
It'd be kind of cool though to go out with a bang like that.
I don't know. On to the next thing, right? Okay, next life.
Fuck it. Start over.
We only got to do 9 hours of a podcast, 8.5 hours. Done.
Oh, shiznit. Well, Joe. These events, like storm events and everything. And I was trying to think, what was when the, over in Japan, when they had the tsunami? Yes. And the nuclear reactor went off? Yep.
Has that ever been fixed?
I don't even remember what it was called. You mean Fukushima?
No. Yeah. What?
Yeah, Fukushima. Yeah. I think it's still leaking.
Yeah, good times.
From what I understand.
Good fucking times.
Yeah, so who knows what's
going on. Little radioactive ocean. Never hurt the human race.
Yeah. Let's go swimming.
Right up near. It's probably warm. Right very warm.
On the beaches.
It's a core killer.
Does anything to us? See if we gain some kind of superpower.
I wonder what kind of superpower you would gain from.
Maybe. I don't know.
Open sores, burn people.
That's not cool.
Seems like the only one you would receive.
That's the last thing I would have ever thought of.
No. I just picture somebody getting very sick when they're near nuclear waste. I don't think of superpowers. But, hey, that's just me.
What's her name going to be?
Deuce Talks.
What are we talking about? Shit? Taking shits? Is that what that's about?
Yeah. You actually came up with some good ones today, though, Brad.
How do you go from talking about taking shits to being so serious?
I don't know. I can skip over that one, I guess.
It's hard because we don't have it pinned down yet.
Yeah, I think it can be hard.
Yeah, see?
Yeah. So I was reading today because I told you I wanted to do, I think it's called Penjing. It's where you grow things on rocks.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was looking at that and trying to find the right plants for that. Very interested in doing that over the winter, learning more about that. Every winter I try to pick...
What was that plant called that you found?
Fuking tea.
Is that how you say it, fuking?
It's Fukiен. Fuking.
We're going to call it the fuking.
The fuking tree.
Fuking tree.
I'm going to put some fuking trees on the Penjing
tree.
Yeah, so I researched and read that today, so I occupied my winter day in Ohio. You spent the day looking up names.
Oh my God. I couldn't think.
Combination.
That's probably why I'm struggling right now. I thought too much about names. Now my brain is on overload.
Name overload.
Yeah.
Which equals nothing.
It's like I filled the hard drive up in my head.
That's what was happening to me when we were watching those Harry Potter movies. Like I haven't seen those since they came out. And when I'm watching movies, like I used to remember shit. And when I'm looking at those, I'm like, I wasn't remembering hardly anything.
Here's what I think.
Tell me what you think, Brad. Fucking tell me. I dare you to fucking tell me what you think.
I think what happens is we get so hyper focused on what we're doing now with like work and all that stuff that we kind of just all those memories get pushed aside. And
yeah, because I'm not even doing drugs anymore.
But I don't know.
I've been sober for years.
Speaking like an idiot, and
you might be an idiot. I don't know, but
any validity at all.
Well, you can only. Yeah, well, it's not your focus. I guess it's not your focus, but it doesn't seem like when I used to watch. It seems like if I used to watch a movie, if I seen it, like I would remember most of it, and that was not happening with that series of movies. So, but it's been years. But it's been years since I've seen them. So who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see the last one or two. I think.
Well, I'm starting to wonder if I've seen any of them.
Deathly Hallows, I think it is. I think I've seen all the other ones, but it's been years since I watched them. But they're fucking awesome.
Yeah, they still hold up today.
Films.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Definitely fucking enjoyed it.
Yeah. So we're on.
And we found out Oberlin College plays. Shit's hilarious.
Plays, holy shit.
What do they play?
Quidditch.
Play Quidditch at Oberlin College.
We gotta go watch that.
Yeah. Here's an historical college.
A live broadcast of
We might have to take you. We might have to take you over there for a Quidditch match. I gotta go see that. That seems like it'd be right up there with LARPing, though, right?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I was doing a wedding this year, Brad. I got out of the car. We were at that castle at Seneca where I gotta go do that a shoot not down the road here.
Yeah.
And I get out of the car and there was a one guy there waiting for other people to come. He was a LARPer, so he had a sword and everything.
You met a LARPer?
I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Makes me think of the is it Hawkeye?
Yeah, Hawkeye. When he goes to the LARPing events.
He looks so happy about it.
Yeah, that was funny.
Have you ever LARPed? Come on, admit it.
Well, I used to.
You used to LARP.
I used to have a fencing gear.
You don't have that anymore, do you?
No, my dad got rid of it.
That'd have been fun.
My aunt and I found it in a barn when I was a kid.
Like a legit suit, you were saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Had the helmet, had the the body protection and the swords.
So did you think about LARPing once you got one of those suits? 'Cause I could see you downtown Sandusky. Like
I didn't know what LARPing was at the time, so I wouldn't have even known.
Fucking wasted suit. Could have been a good memory.
LARPing. Let's go do it, Joe.
I went to Holland, Michigan for a Renaissance festival. Mm-hmm. Have you ever done anything like that?
No.
Oh God,
I haven't been to any of that shit.
You gotta go do that sometime. Talk about people.
The only thing I have close
you can get a turkey leg and a beer and a mug.
The only thing close to anything like that I've been to was Comic-Con.
You were working.
People are dressed up.
You were working Comic-Con.
I was working Comic-Con
because you didn't go to Comic-Con.
No. I mean, we can talk about that,
dude.
If you want.
I can't picture you going to Comic-Con.
Why?
You
mean as a character?
Like dressing up as a character? I can't ever imagine you doing that.
As a kid, it would have been awesome. I would have totally done it as a kid.
They come here to Great Wolf. They do a Comic-Con or some shit.
Yeah.
Because I was driving around one night and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, people are all dressed up and it wasn't like during Halloween. I had no fucking clue what was going on. I'm not in that world, Or
with a lot of celebrities at that.
Yeah, so you went up there and worked. But you had a good time, right?
Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't bad.
Not trying to make fun of people. I'm just, it's just personality. No. I just can't see you doing that. Dressing up as like...
No, it was actually... I enjoyed the Comic-Con, just walking around and seeing all the exhibits. Because there's a ton of artists.
Some of those people put a lot of work into their costumes, man. Like some of those are handmade.
It wasn't... I thought it was going to be like everyone's dressed up in costumes, but it wasn't that way.
Really?
I thought there would be a lot more people dressed up in costumes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it wasn't over the top like I thought it was going to be. But it was, I did enjoy, it was in New York. It was the New York Comic-Con at the Javits Center, and I think it's the second largest in the world, or the second largest Comic-Con.
So what do they do at one of these things? So you got
San Diego's the biggest.
You got artists there that draw and different celebrities that play.
There's artists. There's a ton of exhibits on anything Comic-Con. So all the, it could be, Marvel characters. It could be any anime. It could be any kind of
different genres
show,
right?
Or,
Okay.
different genres of.
Right. And are the actual artists that create those shows, magazines, or whatever there?
Well, there's artists that actually create for the exhibits, so you can buy their work.
So
there's all kinds of memorabilia.
But I don't understand. Is that the artist that creates the show?
I don't know. See, I didn't buy anything.
Okay.
At the time, I know Andrew bought some things. I don't know if the actual artists are there at the exhibits. There might be some exhibits that actually have the show artists and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out.
I'm not 100% sure
what you do at a Comic-Con.
I wasn't able to spend a lot of time roaming. When I did, I enjoyed it.
Did they chain you when you got to work? Did they put a chain on you?
Well, on my breaks, I could go walk around, but you had to do it quick.
No. Otherwise, what would happen? They'd zap you with a collar or something. Did they make a collar on you? A shock collar to get back to work?
No. They didn't do that, Joe.
No.
But there was a time schedule. So basically were
you a good employee? Do you think you did a good job? Or
I don't know. I don't think I was the greatest. I probably fucked up. Yeah. I did fuck up a few times, but it was my first time.
Yeah. But you were on time, right?
I was on time, yes.
You didn't get sidetracked looking at
I was on time.
LARPing, or you didn't almost become a part of a LARPing group, right?
Well, we were actually staying with the people in charge, so I don't think. I think if we overslept, that would be
it's kind of hard to go.
Look.
It's kind of hard to go back and sleep at their place when you fuck everything up.
So what I did was we were the guest handlers, which basically the celebrity handlers, but I ended up going to photo ops because they needed 1 or 2 people to volunteer and go to photo ops. And there was a pay cut. Nobody was volunteering, so I was
you felt bad. I'll do it.
I'll fucking do it.
Did you feel pressure? Did you feel bad inside a little bit? Nobody was.
I just felt like I needed to stand up because they needed help.
Okay. Because
I'm just that kind of person.
I'd have felt a little bad, hey, why is anybody doing this?
What I was originally supposed to do, what the guest handlers do, is they're with the celebrity all day, throughout the day, and they have to make sure that the celebrity is getting to each, it could be signing autographs or photo ops where they take photos with fans.
Okay.
But or the panels. So you got to get them there when they're supposed to be there on time. And you have their plan for the day.
You're an assistant.
You have to escort them.
Yeah, you're basically an assistant, keeping on track.
Yeah, so I ended up going to photo ops.
Because I guess when you're an actor, you can't figure out where to fucking be unless somebody tells you, right?
I guess, yeah. I guess they get sidetracked, maybe. I don't know.
Because you don't have your own planner. You need somebody to fucking tell you what to do.
And they actually ask us who we prefer to work with. So you see the list, guest list, and they ask you. So you get to select who you want to work with, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll get that person.
Oh, okay.
And I can't remember who I picked. I think Peter Jackson was supposed to be there, and Rob Zombie, and those were my top 2, and just because they're directors.
About me, Rob Zombie, but most names I don't know. So,
but everybody else were just most of the other ones were actors or voice actors. The voice actors are really cool. The most they would take the time to talk to you, but they didn't have as many fans as the bigger celebrities did.
Yeah, they're probably not as well known either, some of them.
So they had time to just step aside and I can't remember who it was, but one of the voice actors, he's a well-known guy. I can't remember his name, but he was hilarious. And if I can, one day
One day you'll remember.
Try to remember what he said. I told you what it was. He said something funny as hell.
Yeah, a while back you told me. Yeah. Not too long ago, actually.
Yeah. But anyway. So I went to the photo ops. And it was pretty easy, but basically there's different positions. So you have the photographer, the guy that, or the woman that takes the photos. And then there's the people that are operating.
I like to say person.
The system within that.
I like to say person.
Photo person.
Yeah, so I don't have to say
should
both.
I call you a photo person?
You can call me a photo person, or anytime we're talking about it, we just say person, because it's a time saver, really. Instead of saying male, female, fuck it, it's person, human. Well,
it could
human
be,
photographer.
It's a human photographer.
Yeah, we prefer to say human.
Sorry.
Human.
Did I offend
them?
Apologize.
Them.
Actually, I don't. Anyway,
go ahead. So
there's people that
I was trying to give you a little tip
that stand inside. So there's like two
people stand inside.
Yes.
Holy shit!
Enclosed.
It's a building.
Photo booth.
Oh, okay.
So there's the main photo booth, and then there's like outside of the photo booth, but it's enclosed too. So you walk in. The fans walk in.
Am I in the booth now?
And then they're greeted by one of the photo ops people that are working in.
Would that be you? Would you be a photo ops?
I did work that.
So what do you do? What do you say?
Positions.
What do you say to them? Like, okay, I'm coming in to see.
If they have a bag, you offer to.
Are we still talking male female bag?
All right, Joe.
They
offer you to.
What kind of bag are they holding?
Stop it.
I'm serious. What kind of bag are they holding?
They come in with if they come in with a bag, you offer to take their bag and put it on.
Oh, that's nice of you. Okay.
And then they can go in.
Okay. Do you take their coat too, or just their bag?
Take their coat too.
Okay, so.
Would you let me explain this? I'm being an asshole.
I'm not being an asshole. I'm trying to figure out what you're talking about.
I'm trying to focus.
Don't focus too much. Let it flow. All right, here we go.
Now you joke. You're so serious, and then all of a sudden you start joking when I'm talking. Fucking asshole. Anyway,
so you did that one job, and you would greet them and take their bag, and then.
Yeah, and then there's a person that brings the fans into the photo booth where the guest is. And there's a person that stands right outside that area. And then there's another person down in the far right corner or left corner, whichever way the people are coming in. And that person lets them go to the guest and take a photo after
do you do the arm
the
thing?
Other person is escorted.
You say,
yes,
you can go in now.
Hello, sir. Hello, miss.
Meet so-and-so. Okay. So what happens? They get a photo, and then they
get a photo,
talk a little bit,
and they get to chat. Not long. They're not really supposed to chat with them. They get their photo, say hi, and then they have to move. And sometimes I had to be the asshole that had to tell them that they had to.
You have to go.
Please go.
Keep it moving.
In the most polite way that I could.
Keep it moving.
But sometimes they don't want to go, and they want to sit and chit chat with the celebrity.
Can you be kind of funny about it?
And I think some of the celebrities didn't like that too much.
That you were making a move?
You had to be that person.
Yeah, well.
You had to be the dick.
He also, I guess, if he could show up on his own without having a handler, he could do whatever he wants. But
right.
So.
Yeah, I got to see a lot of different people.
That's pretty cool.
But when you're there every day for the weekend, it gets old. And I'm not like the type of person that gets starstruck. It's kind of cool to see the people because you like watch them in movies and shit. But
yeah, it would be fun.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. I could see that. But it's not like you're going to trip over yourself because it's another human.
Right.
So, pretty cool.
Anyway, that's what I fucking did.
And you had a good time?
It was okay. I don't know. I didn't really want to do it again.
Check it off your list. Fuck it. Done. One and done.
I'm appreciative of it, though, the opportunity.
Yeah, it seemed like you were.
Yeah.
It's more details that I've ever heard you tell me about Comic-Con. I'm just disappointed you didn't LARP.
No, we didn't LARP.
Is that where that guy was a creep when you were in New York? Coming out of the bathroom?
That's when we were leaving. He's like, I think we were in New York or New Jersey. I think we were still in New York. And we stopped at a rest stop. And I went in the bathroom, in the restroom. and I took a piss. Okay. And then as I'm walking out, there's some guy walking in my direction into the restroom. And he's like, "Hey, nice shorts. How's your guy?" And I was like, all right. And then I just like kept walking, and I didn't.
Fucking Mark and I were. Why is it always at parks that creepy shit happens? Mark and I were over.
But the thing was, is I think it might have been a worker at the rest stop, but I don't know. Maybe he wanted my guy, my guy.
My guy. How's your guy?
He really liked my shorts.
Fucking thanks for your fashion advice.
I mean, I didn't have a boner or anything, so I don't know why it was.
Yeah, who knows?
We gotta keep it PG, don't we? We can keep it PG-13, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I really don't know.
A little bit of rated R drops here and there, but
yeah. Well, I used the F word I don't know how many times on this episode. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's okay to say fuck.
Is it? I like the word. I don't mind. Like, cussing doesn't offend me.
You got very serious about that.
Because people get really offended by cuss words.
Well, fuck
I don't.
them if they get offended.
I know, but I don't. I really don't. I'm not offended by that. I'm more offended about other things than that. So, Comic-Con, yeah. So but you were into comic books when you were a kid.
I didn't really read comic books, though. I had a few, but I was into like superheroes and shit. Stuff, yeah. Marvel and DC and all that. I watched the cartoons. That's why. Like X-Men, Batman, Incredible Hulk. What else did I watch? Like Spider-Man and all that stuff. Was there a Captain America cartoon? I don't know. There was an Iron Man cartoon I used to watch.
I had no clue about that.
Yeah. So,
He-Man, yes.
He-Man was my top shit.
Yeah, I used to love getting up in the mornings and watching cartoons on the weekends.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see your feet, Joe.
I don't care what they want. My knee is hurting right now, so I'm going to sit how I'm comfortable. If they don't like it...
That's actually bad for your back, the way you're sitting.
What are you, a fucking chiropractor?
No, I've read about it.
Why would this be bad? It's a 90 degree.
Well, because...
What's bad about it?
Because your back, I think, when you're on a couch.
Oh.
Because you're kind of sinking into the couch. And your legs are up.
That makes sense, but yeah. It's taken away the pain out of my knee, so...
Okay. Do you need more space? We'll have a different setup soon.
Yeah, this is not a...
Well, Wednesday we'll have a different setup.
We have to if we have a guest, so.
Yeah. I mean, I'll sit on the fucking floor if I have to.
So we talked about, like, it's kind of like an odd job you did when you went to Comic-Con. Kind of jumped on board. It wasn't that you needed to.
Well,
the
reason I did it was our friend Justin had asked me a while back if I wanted to do it. So I was like, yeah, I might do it because Andrew asked me. They were going again.
Right.
And so we reached out to him and got me in.
Cool.
Because his sister operates that whole...
Yeah, and that was the first I heard anything about that.
Division of the Comic-Con, that portion of it.
Pretty cool.
So...
It's a lot of responsibility, it seems like.
It is.
Seems like she would have to do a lot of planning.
Well, yeah.
To get that to...
For her, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So they have, like, the guest handlers. That's what I was hired to do. Then they have, like, their tech people that operate the schedules and everything that's going on in that department, I guess. These are actually not operated by Comic-Con. These are subcontracted departments, not departments, but subcontracted divisions.
And they handle certain aspects
of the Comic-Con. Like you have the guest handling, then you have photo ops, and I'm sure there's all kinds of other parts of that. So
that's a contract then. You're basically a company that takes care of that, and then you line up the workers for those specific duties, or you handle them yourself.
So I'm subcontracted basically through that.
It's a fancy thing for saying that they don't have to pay health care for you.
Exactly. Yes. Pretty much.
Pretty much. Anytime we do work and we receive
Yeah.
Subcontracted or 1099.
Yeah. So, yep.
That's awesome.
I think you'd have fun doing it.
I have, you know me, brother. Like, I would have fun going. Absolutely would enjoy it. I like going anywhere, man.
I met Ben Savage from Boy Meets World.
Oh, yeah?
I had him a couple times.
Yeah.
They had like some of the cast there, like the guy that played his brother and the girl that played Topanga. She was there.
Okay.
So the three of them. Yeah, he was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, it's yeah, I would enjoy doing it.
And a bunch of other celebrities like Mark Ruffalo was there, Jason Momoa, David Tennant, who was on Harry Potter.
Okay. Now we caught the one guy last night.
Saw last night.
The one was he played in the vampire movie. The one I don't know. The hell was those?
Robert Pattinson.
Yeah, and I didn't even realize he played in
Batman.
Yeah, I didn't even realize he played in that. You know, and then you're like, oh shit.
I didn't even realize it because at the time I think that's before he got famous.
Right. Yeah.
And then when the Twilight series came out,
right,
that's when he blew up. So I didn't even realize it.
I enjoy like counterculture like that because it's interesting to me, like how millions of people are interested in one genre or thing, and then be around all that. It's really fun to be around. Mm-hmm. Just watching them.
But I would say you're talking about like the
Comic-Cons, like, or like pick one. You know, people that are into rockabilly, people that are into, you know, fixing up cars and that you know they meet, or you know, things like that, counterculture.
So my favorite thing about it wasn't even working at the Comic-Con. It was just walking around, looking at the exhibits. And then it was my first time in New York City. Yeah, so actually experiencing New York City. So we stayed in Queens, Woodside, Queens. And it was pretty cool because, like I said, I hadn't been there. And to see, it reminded me of, it was just that I'm fucking blanking, dude. I'm trying to say
he's
here.
Blanking. He's drowning people. We'll see if he's
trying.
He's gasping. He's reaching.
It was what you would think of New York being.
Yeah. So it was kind of like fit.
And it was like you had you know how the subway trains, when they had like the overpass tracks.
Yeah. Like Chicago has.
Yeah. And then we stayed in.
How about the shops down there and like all the stores? And like, was there anything that stood out to you that you wanted to go in, or like?
I wanted to try more food places. There was eateries everywhere, restaurants everywhere. And then we stayed in Brooklyn.
You're so right though, like being in Queens and Brooklyn or just traveling.
And what I enjoyed the most was just walking around in those different areas. Like Woodside was really cool in Queens. It was a nice area. And the diversity in New York is pretty incredible.
Yeah, that's always really nice.
Yeah, so like where we stayed, it was, I think in Woodside, it was more of like, I'm trying to think, kind of Hispanic and Asian population in Woodside, Queens.
Okay, yeah. And see, I've never been, so I don't, this is all news. Whatever you're telling me right now is...
Yeah.
I'm learning from you because I've never been, so.
In Brooklyn, it was like a lot of, it was more like Caribbean, people from the Caribbean in that area that we were in.
Haitians?
Would it be?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know what
their,
like where they were from, but it was a lot of kind of that culture in that area. So
yeah, I would definitely enjoy going though. I can imagine.
So like people from the Caribbean islands, maybe Haitian, maybe like
I don't know. I honestly, you might have been in an area
Dominican or whatever. So
it's like going to Little Italy in Cleveland. Who knows? You know what I mean? It might have been a section over there.
Yeah. So that's how it was in that part of Brooklyn. A nice area. Went to a park in Brooklyn. Had some pizza. I wanted to try some good pizza joints. There was a guy I met at Comic-Con that was working security that was from, I think he was from Long Island. And he was telling me about a pizza place. I can't remember what it was called, but I didn't get a chance to go there. So
Yeah, it's definitely on my list of places I want to go. I went to, you made me think of Chicago. Chicago's a great place to go to.
I still haven't been to Chicago either.
I think everybody should go to Chicago once. I think you would enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll go sometime soon, I'm sure, since I know somebody that lives there.
Mm-hmm.
Justin lived there for a while, too.
Yeah. It's a good visit.
Many places that I want to go.
Too many.
It's going to happen soon.
I know. I want to take a trip here. Well, it sounds like a good experience, man. Plus, you got to hang out with Schaefer and other people, so it's good.
Yeah, so we stayed in Queens, then we stayed in Brooklyn with one of their friends, and then from there, from New York, we went to Vermont. And stayed in an Airbnb, so it was a fucking awesome place. It was kind of on a farm, I think, and we stayed in this huge teepee, and then our other friends stayed in a yurt. And they had I think they had some cattle. And another cool thing of that place was they had a sauna, like a natural sauna that the homeowners built, the property owners. And at night they left each of us a huge, like a big giant mason jar of water with had like herbs and like flavoring, like natural flavoring, like
infused
maybe it was like infused lemon or something. It was incredible. They left each of us a jar.
Go back to the sweat lodge. Like did they have like an Indian sweat lodge?
I don't know what you would call it, but it was one that they made, and it was with stones.
Yeah,
like
that's what
you pour water on. The stones.
Yeah, that would have been like they do these. What do they call it, man? They call them sweats, I think. Yeah, man, I'm going back like 25, 30 years. I haven't done it.
But I have a video of it. I don't know if I showed you. Yeah,
okay.
I was going through my photos on my phone. And I came across it and forgot I had it.
Indians do these sweat ceremonies, sweat lodges and stuff. So I wonder if it was something they pulled it from that.
Mm-hmm. And then from there, they had a natural pond that they made. So it's kind of like one that I built for my dad, but it was a little deeper, and it was like crystal clear.
Oh yeah, I watched videos on. So it was
like nice. Those. You could sit in the sauna for a while and then jump in the pond.
They had a nice setup out there.
It was awesome. Yeah,
weather must have been good that time of year. Yeah, because that was must have been during summer.
It was at the end of summer. Okay. It was September actually. It was getting close to fall time. So, but I think it was warm still at the time.
And so were the owners on property with you then?
Yeah, they lived on property. They had a house.
Okay.
So that's where we checked in, went into their garage. Very nice people, husband and wife, and I think they had some kids too. And then the teepee was like not too far from where their house was, and they had a couple of yurts that were further down.
Teepee must have been huge.
Oh, it was enormous. It was massive. You could fit a bunch of people in it. Yeah.
Were you able to have a fire in it or no? How was it? Oh, you were. So it was like legit, like set up.
Yeah. Yep.
That's cool.
It rained that night too. The night we stayed.
Nice.
One night we stayed.
And so you stayed dried though, even with it?
It got a little. I think it was coming through a little bit.
I think I got a little wet.
I can't remember,
dude. Think.
I think it was dripping. I think it was dripping through the canvas.
Yes, yeah, probably got saturated. Never tell you the last time I ever camped with my father?
No.
So Dad had one of those old canvas tents, the big ones with like where you could separate the rooms too, and like had a big arch, but it was old canvas. So we're on our way to Florida, and he had that shoved into a tempo, and he was looking for a place for us to stay on the beach. So he finally found a place. So we camped out on the beach. Well, the only problem with being near the beach is, can you imagine the storms when they come through on the ocean? So we're staying there. The storm blows through, and everything's just leaking. You know, we're all young. We're whining and crying and wet and everything. And my dad's like, that's it. And my mom's name's Carol. It's like, my dad's like, that's it, Carol. Get the kids' stuff. And he takes this tent and he like smashes it all up while it's wet and throws it in the back of the trunk. And that was the last time I ever camped with my family.
Yeah,
he was
your
like,
dad's
I'm never
not a camper, is he?
No, he's like, I'm not doing this. And the other time I remember him camping, we were in Mohegan, and somebody saw a big black snake, and I think my dad slept in the car because he's got a terrible fear of snakes. But yeah, he's not a camper. Definitely when after it was raining and we're all complaining. That's it, Carol. Get the kids' stuff. We're done.
Where was that?
We had to be somewhere near Carolinas, I think. But I'm not convinced that we might have been. I think we were heading down to Florida to see my grandparents. Yeah, so that was our camping experience. But that teepee sounds awesome, Brad.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I wouldn't mind going back there.
Yeah, that sounds really like a cool. And that natural pond sounds really cool.
Yeah, and I think it was only like $70 a night to stay there.
Nice, man.
Not too bad.
Not at all.
Especially if you get you could get some friends together and it wouldn't cost hardly anything.
Cook out, swim in the natural pond, little sauna.
Yeah.
Sweat it out. Sweat out the toxins.
It might have been per person though.
Either way, that's still
charged per person.
Well, sometimes there's an add-on because I've been doing research because we're going to start that Airbnb here. Hopefully, if we can get it rezoned, but not if we're going. I think it's going to happen. But yeah, so you can set up your Airbnb so that it does so if you and I were going, let's say, and it's $100, every person after that would be like $25.
Mm-hmm.
So you can. It depends on how you set that up. It's just like you can limit it that certain times of year you can only block it out for 3 days or a week or a month. Some people, whatever their criteria is. So. Same with the cleaning piece, but that sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was cool.
Good time.
I need to get back into biking, man.
I know. I was talking to my brother because he lives in Virginia, and he was serious about us coming down in this. So if you want to throw the bike on and go. Yeah,
because we worked on the property for a month straight, and I kind of didn't ride then because I was riding at least a couple times a week just to keep my fitness up with it. And it's been on my mind. I need to get back on it, no matter if it's cold out or not.
Yeah, you probably would be ride. Good, even if you did it for an hour.
Get off my ass.
Mm-hmm. That'll feel good. I think it's important. I've been thinking that too. I don't know what I need to do, but I need to do something. I think that's why I was reading today. You see me really focus on that. You know how I get hyper focused on subject matter and that.
Yeah.
So I'm.
What were you reading?
It was about the Penjing. I think it comes from I don't know for certain though. I got to look it up a little bit.
We've been focused on that Penjing.
Yeah, because I want to. What they make is they make these trays that you attach all the rocks to, and so I have this dragonstone, which basically dragonstone is fossilized clay that I use for a. Oh, you helped me set it up. It was an aquascape aquarium, a 55-gallon. So I accomplished that, and I was able to do it. But when I moved out, I ripped it all down. I'm not setting that up while we're doing all this shit. So I wanted to take and use that rock and then set up a kind of like a landscaped scenery on that tray, and then figure out what plants can grow in there. So I'm going to hollow out the rocks. I'm going to, there's a ton I have to do, so I'm trying to read about it. And even if I do it on a small scale, I just want to see if I can do it. So every winter I pick something new to learn and read about, and that's what's happening right now between that and learning how to market better, market the photography and the eventually video work that we do. So so that's where I'm at right now. So that helps me occupy my brain in the winter. But
I've been hyper focused on getting this podcast going.
I know. Yeah. And we're doing it. We're sitting down like we promised ourselves, you know what I mean? And we want to do it. I have them
all edited.
That takes a lot of time, too.
As we're doing this, we haven't posted any yet. We're trying to build up. I think for podcasts, they say, from what I read, they say to release like 2 or 3 when you first release, but have about 6 in the bank or several in the bank so that you can stay ahead each week.
Yeah, because life comes up. We're going to get busy in February. There's going to be some clients that we're going to be doing some work for, and so
we'll talk more about how we're doing this too. It'll get better too. So if we're boring you, sorry, but it'll get better. We're going to get some guests on and have some interesting talks and some laughs. We have a lot of interesting friends.
Like we were kidding around a little bit, but we've only done it 9 hours. I mean, so
yeah.
I mean, there's very few things in life you can do for 9 hours and be like exceptional at. Yeah. Let's face it. That's the truth.
What's nerve-wracking to me is putting myself out there because I'm not the type of person that does that. And I mean, I don't give a fuck what people think, but still, it's kind of, when you're in the middle of something, what's going through my head is like, I don't want to fuck up. I don't want to fuck up.
Well, yeah, and it's really different about
uninteresting.
It's really different about recording something and then putting it up too. So putting yourself out there when you're standing with somebody, that dissipates. Now we have an archive of it.
Yeah.
Of like what we're talking about. So like if we verbally mess up pronouncing something, or if there's long awkward pauses, or I don't know, if we come across like an asshole or people, it doesn't translate well.
Is yawning and looks bored.
Yeah, rubbing his face and tired. Yeah, so I think it'll get better though.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I'm getting a little dry here. So yeah, I think
we're trying to nail down what the format is.
Yeah, and
we ramble on a lot about
that's
stuff,
a battle with you too, though, because you don't want it too formatted, and we don't want it to seem like it's like forced.
Yeah, so I mean,
so it's like a balance.
And nobody knows who the fuck we are, so we gotta have something. Like there has to be some kind of format.
But here's the thing, brother.
But at the same time, it doesn't matter to me. Like I just want to do it because it's fun.
Well, and here's the thing: if somebody else can do it, we can do it too, and we can also have a format and figure out what we need to do to make it successful.
Yeah. Whether one person or 500,000 people see this, like it doesn't matter as long as
I agree with that.
We both enjoy it, and I don't know. Hopefully, we can put some interesting stuff out there, and
I want to learn some things from some other.
I want to learn too. Yeah.
It's like you telling me about that part of Queens and your perception tonight, or the Comic-Con. I learned something tonight. Listen, I love that shit. When I'm talking to people and their stories about what they're doing, if you listen close enough, you can learn, Well, I think, what we're veering towards as a format for this is kind of having interesting people on, kind of hearing how they go about what they do and what makes them tick. And I just think there's a lot of valuable discussions that can be had there. I agree. And I also think there's a lot of value in the ups and downs in life. So how you get to a place, and sometimes people don't give up, and they, this is how that works, or this is now what it looks like, and it didn't look like that before, or you find out that somebody's really struggling too, even while they're doing it, so that's kind of interesting.
For me, like, if anyone can relate, or if I can try to relate to other people, like one thing for me is like, I have to continually do something. And that's why I was talking about getting back on my bike, because I've been sitting inside for the past week, kind of focusing on the podcast, which isn't a bad thing. At least that's something that I'm doing. But I've also been kind of sitting around a lot, like doing.
Well, since
trying to do those goals, for me, I don't like to sit around
since the holidays
and
right. Yeah, we slowed down. Like we went from doing something every evening towards working towards the house goal, fixing that up so it was livable, and still doing other stuff that we had to do with our businesses. And then, that came, we kind of hit a complete stop almost, as far as, and plus we're fighting COVID, things are a little different. But yeah, you have an option right now. You got to,
but I need to get out
and ride the bike, even if it's cold,
I have to move. I'm not one to sit for long periods of time. So I got to get out and get back to being active. Yep.
That'll make you feel better too. And you might get a thought when you feel better too. You might think of something. You might.
True. Yeah.
You might, that's a good point. That's what we're going to call it. Or that's an idea, so I think that's the way I am too when I'm busy. When I get down,
that's another thing we can talk about is what drives us, what keeps us going. I know everyone has their own way of doing things. Like me, I got to stay active. I can't sit at the desk editing all day long. I have to get up, move around. I have to get out, enjoy my life, stay active physically.
Well, it's like we've talked in the past, like when business is slower, not getting down. You know what I mean? Because those are times we've questioned ourselves throughout the years, and now we're not at that point. It's not happening as frequently right now, but like, what do you do in those times when business isn't coming in? Might be go ride your bike a little bit more, and you're thinking something, you know what, I need to come home and figure out how to do that marketing thing that I've been reading about, or I need to, I did have that hobby over here. Maybe I should write that down, or that script. So maybe you're riding your bike and you feel a little better. You come home and you know what? Not only should I ride my bike, but maybe I should sit for a half hour and write some of that script or that idea for the movie that I want to write, that creative project that I want to do.
But we are doing something every day.
Absolutely.
There hasn't been a day where I haven't done something, even if it's for like an hour.
Yeah, and I would say we do it longer than that.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, if you do something every day, even no matter, like, as long as it's something that's getting you to whatever your goal is, you got to do something
every day. Do something. Yep.
Motherfucking day.
Well, it's true. Like, fuck. You know, you start not doing it one day and then 2 days and then 3 days and 5 days and you're not changing anything and you're just waking up and doing nothing, you know, or going to work or, you know, and working for somebody else is fine. But if you want to work for yourself, start doing it on the side. You know, that's what we did, you know. So, I like your idea about getting out and biking. So I hope by episode 6, you're hearing about Brad riding his fucking bike.
Yeah, but it's flatland riding, so it's not exciting. It's only exciting if I'm like launching off jumps and crashing into my shoulder.
Make yourself a man-made like
injuries.
joust stick. You can joust people off the bike path when they're not on the right side. Drive around with a garbage can lid or some shit.
That would be terrible.
Yeah, it's not about exciting. It's about getting physical.
Yeah.
Right now.
But yeah, I'll get back to it. I need to.
Cool.
Need to get back to the...
Well, we made it an hour and 12 minutes.
Should we call it Grind to 5?
Grind to 5.
That's one of the names.
Grinding it without a filter.
We're not Grind to 5. We're open to open. No, we're not open to open. Fuck that. No, I don't want to work open to open.
No, I want to make condensed money. Like
unless I'm having fun doing it, then
I still want to.
Then I will.
I still want to do condensed money so we can ride bikes and I can build Penjing in the backyard or go to a trip.
Well, that's a good note to end on, Joe. That's a wrap. Episode 4 in the books. And
thanks for listening.
Episode 5, we should have a guest.
Yeah. And we're going to continue to work and get better at this. So thanks for tuning in.
Let's go. Let's do it. Peace.